There's a method so effective, so psychologically precise, that the women it works on never realize it happened. They simply wake up one morning unable to stop thinking about you, wanting you, unable to explain why this particular man occupies their mind. Like a song they cannot shake. Machiavelli never published this. He understood that certain knowledge, once released, changes the holder forever. What you're about to learn was buried in the margins of power dynamics for centuries, not because it is cruel, but because it is too effective. By the end of this, you will understand the exact mechanism that makes a woman's resistance dissolve without her noticing. You will see why everything you have tried before failed. And you will possess a framework so precise that using it will feel almost criminal. But first you must unlearn a lie. The lie is this: attraction is earned through effort. Every instinct you have tells you to try harder, pursue more, prove more, show your value through grand gestures, careful words, and consistent attention. Society has programmed this into you since childhood. The harder you work, the more you deserve. But seduction operates on inverse physics. The moment you try to earn her desire, you have already lost it. Not because women are cruel, but because the human psyche does not value what is given freely. It craves what cannot be easily obtained. It obsesses over what remains just beyond reach. Machiavelli observed this in courts and kingdoms. Advisors who threw themselves at the prince's feet were dismissed. Those who served with quiet competence, who could walk away at any moment, became indispensable. The same law governs the feminine heart. She does not want the man who needs her. She wants the man who chooses her from a position of complete freedom. The difference is invisible to most men. To her, it is everything. Let me show you precisely how this works. The first principle of effortless seduction is emotional asymmetry. Most men approach attraction as a balance sheet. They give attention and expect attention back. They invest emotion and expect emotion returned. This creates a dynamic of exchange. Exchange is commerce, it is not desire. True desire emerges when one person holds slightly more emotional weight than the other. Not through games or manipulation, but through genuine internal abundance. When you arrive with no need for a specific outcome, when your contentment does not depend on her response, you create a vacuum she cannot resist filling. Think of a flame. It does not chase the moth. It simply burns with such intensity that the moth cannot help but spiral closer. Your job is not to pursue. Your job is to burn. This is harder than it sounds because most men do not possess real internal abundance. They pretend. They perform detachment while checking their phone every 3 minutes for her message. She senses this immediately. The female nervous system is calibrated to detect incongruence the way a predator detects wounded prey. When your words say one thing and your energy says another, she feels it before her conscious mind registers it. That feeling destroys attraction faster than any mistake you could make. So before you learn techniques, you must understand the foundation. Effortless seduction is not a mask you wear. It is a state you embody. Techniques flow naturally once the state is established. Without the state, techniques become performance. And performance always fails eventually. Now the second principle, controlled mystery. Most men think mystery means withholding information, staying silent, being vague. That is a shallow interpretation. True mystery is not about hiding yourself. It is about revealing yourself in fragments that invite her imagination to complete the picture. The human brain is a pattern completion machine. When given incomplete information, it cannot rest until the gaps are filled. Here is the critical insight most men miss. Whatever she imagines about you will be more compelling than what you could tell her directly. Her imagination is your greatest ally. Every time you explain yourself fully, justify your actions, or narrate your thoughts, you steal the work her imagination would have done for free. Imagination creates emotional investment. Explanation creates none. Consider the difference when she asks why you chose a particular restaurant. The first man says he researched the best places, read reviews, and chose it because she likes quiet spaces. The second man says, there's a story behind this place. Maybe I'll tell you later. The first man gave her everything. The second planted a seed that will grow in her mind for hours. She will wonder, she will speculate, she will invest. Which man do you think she remembers at 2 a.m.? The architecture of mystery is simple, but it requires discipline. You reveal enough to create curiosity and withhold enough to sustain it. You never fully complete the picture, and you do this naturally, not as strategy, but because your life genuinely contains depth she has not yet explored. If your life does not contain those depths, creating them becomes your first priority. Mystery cannot be manufactured, it can only be uncovered. The third principle cuts deeper than the others. Tension calibration. Every interaction between a man and a woman contains electrical charge. Most men either suppress this charge entirely, becoming harmless friends, or escalate it clumsily, becoming transparent in their intentions. Neither approach creates the sustained magnetic pull that makes seduction feel effortless. The secret lies in oscillation. You create moments of undeniable tension, then release it completely. Build-release. Build-release. This pattern mirrors the rhythm of music, of breathing, of life itself. It feels natural because it is natural. What feels unnatural is constant escalation or constant neutrality. Both kill attraction. When you master this oscillation, something remarkable happens. She begins to experience emotional highs and lows in your presence, not because you manipulate her mood, but because you create space for her emotions to move freely. Women describe men who understand this as different. They cannot articulate why. They only know that being around you feels unlike being around anyone else. This feeling becomes addictive precisely because it cannot be named. Let me give you a practical example. You're sitting across from her. The conversation is light and playful. Then you pause and allow silence to enter. Your eyes hold hers 1 second longer than comfortable. The air changes. Your expression shifts slightly more serious, slightly more present. The moment deepens. Then you smile, break the tension, and make a joke about something irrelevant. In 8 seconds, you've taken her on an emotional journey most men cannot create in an hour. She will remember that moment. She will crave its return. This is not performance. When done correctly, it emerges from genuine presence and authentic interest. You see something in her that invites seriousness. Then you release, because the moment has served its purpose. The tension is not manufactured. It is acknowledged, then allowed to dissipate. Now comes the principle that separates the skilled from the powerful: emotional leadership. Most men follow a woman's emotional state. She's happy, they're happy. She withdraws, they become anxious. She tests them. They react defensively. Their internal world mirrors her external shifts. This is backwards. The man who holds his emotional center regardless of her shifts becomes the stable point around which she orbits. Not because she is weak, but because stability is magnetic. In a world of constant reaction, the grounded man becomes the reference point for everyone around him. This does not mean being emotionless. It means being sourced from within, not dependent on external validation. When she pulls away, you do not chase. When she tests, you do not crumble. When she gives attention, you do not become intoxicated by it. You enjoy, but you do not need. This stance cannot be faked for long. She will test it, consciously or not. Every woman tests because her deepest self must know whether you are real. If you are performing stability, the performance will crack. If your foundation is real, nothing she does will shake you. When nothing shakes you, something remarkable happens. She begins to relax. The testing diminishes. Her walls lower. The games she plays with other men become unnecessary with you. You are what you present. There's no hidden fragility to expose. This relaxation is where true intimacy begins. Not false intimacy, but the real intimacy of two people with nothing to prove. But we are not finished. The fifth principle is rarely discussed because it makes people uncomfortable: strategic patience. Modern culture worships speed, instant gratification, immediate results. This programming is fatal to powerful seduction. The most compelling connections are built slowly, layer upon layer. Each interaction adds depth instead of accelerating to a conclusion. When you rush, you communicate scarcity. You reveal fear of losing her attention, and that fear repels. The man who sustains interest over weeks or months without desperate escalation demonstrates rarity, abundance of time, options, and self-possession. He is not in a hurry because his life is full. His attention is valuable precisely because it is not given automatically. This patience is not passivity. You remain present, continue engaging, but do not push toward outcomes. You allow the connection to mature at its own pace, trusting that what develops organically is far more powerful than what is forced. She notices this. It confuses her at first. Men typically accelerate. They want confirmation. They want to close. When you do not, she wonders why. That wondering becomes its own form of investment. Eventually, she begins to pursue, not because you manipulated her, but because the space you left became a vacuum she could not resist filling. The energy you did not spend chasing her returns as her energy chasing you. This is the inversion of power that makes seduction feel effortless. You are not doing less because you are playing games. You are doing less because less is more. Restraint communicates value. Patience signals abundance. Now, the sixth principle ties everything together: authentic selectivity. Most men approach women hoping to be chosen. They present themselves favorably, seeking approval. This makes them the supplicant, the one auditioning. Effortless seduction inverts this frame entirely. You are not hoping to be chosen. You are evaluating whether she deserves access to your time and attention. You are the selector, not the selected. This is not arrogance, it is accurate self-valuation. If you have done the work to become a man of substance, with depth, purpose, and direction, then your attention is genuinely valuable. Giving it away without discernment cheapens both you and her. When you approach from this frame, everything shifts. Your questions become genuine, your response is honest, your presence grounded rather than anxious. She feels this immediately. It triggers a response hardwired into the feminine psyche, the desire to prove herself worthy of your selection. This is not manipulation, it is natural hierarchy asserting itself. When one person clearly possesses value and knows it, others instinctively position themselves to be included in their orbit. The ordinary man tries to prove himself to her. The strategic man creates conditions where she tries to prove herself to him. The difference in outcomes is not subtle, it is absolute. Let me synthesize what we have covered. Effortless seduction is not about techniques applied to resistant subjects. It is about states embodied that naturally attract without effort. The state of genuine internal abundance requiring no specific outcome. The state of controlled mystery, revealing in fragments that invite imagination. The state of tension calibration, oscillating between charge and release. The state of emotional leadership, remaining centered regardless of her shifts. The state of strategic patience, allowing connection to mature without desperate acceleration. The state of authentic selectivity, evaluating rather than auditioning. When these states become your default, seduction stops being something you do. It becomes something that happens around you. Women find themselves drawn without understanding why. Resistance dissolves without confrontation. What should be difficult becomes almost embarrassingly easy. This is why it feels illegal. Not because you are breaking rules, but because you have transcended the game everyone else is playing. You operate in different physics, and those physics make you appear to possess powers others do not. But there is a final truth you must understand. These principles work because they are aligned with reality. They do not trick women. They do not exploit weaknesses. They simply present you as the man evolution designed the feminine psyche to seek. Grounded, selective, abundant, mysterious, patient, present. You are not becoming someone false. You are removing false layers society programmed into you. You are revealing what should have been there all along. Machiavelli understood that power is not seized, it is revealed. The prince who grasps for control appears weak. The prince who embodies authority naturally commands it without demand. The same law applies here. Stop trying to seduce, become seductive. Stop trying to attract, become attractive. Stop chasing desire, become desirable. When this shift completes within you, you will understand why this knowledge changes the holder forever. You cannot unsee what you have seen. You cannot unknow what you now know. From this point forward, interactions will feel different. You will notice dynamics invisible to others. You will see the games being played, and you will recognize that you no longer need to play them. This is the territory where seduction stops feeling like effort, where it starts feeling like inevitability, where she looks at you one evening and realizes, with something close to shock, that she cannot remember the last time she thought about anyone else. She will not know how it happened. You will. And that private knowledge, that quiet certainty, is perhaps the most seductive thing of all. The man who knows himself completely becomes impossible to resist. Not because he is performing, but because he is finally fully real. Carry this with you. Let it integrate and watch what begins to happen when you stop chasing and start simply existing as the man you were always meant to be. The game was never about her. It was always about you. If you're still here, if you felt something shift while listening, you are not like most who passed through. Subscribe, most will not. That is exactly the point.